Hey everybody, this is Galen, aka Determinacy, here to bring you a chess shoutcast. We have a pretty sweet game, GM Vidok as black against IM Mishkin as white. And I have seen two games so far. GM Grandmaster Vidok won both games, so it's a little bit of a rivalry. They started with 5 minutes, and then they switched to 1 minute, I think because they were kind of on tilt. So I'm pretty excited to see how this turns out. We have some sort of a Benoni King's Indian structure to start. Black dropped a piece by accident. So Vidok is coming from behind, but he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve, so let's see. So the knights are going in the center. We might have the dark squared bishop traded off. Nope. He puts the knight in the way. Okay, so we have a pretty powerful black bishop, but still, white's still up a piece, so he's up for now. But we have 38 seconds against 36 seconds. In a bullet, you always have to be thinking about time. Alright, so black protects his king a little bit. White has a really strong knight. He starts to bring his rook up to start to attack, but, of course, it gets taken by the bishop. Sometimes it's a little too fast to see everything in bullet, even for grandmasters. Okay, so we see some sort of mate threats. We see the rook's attack. Now maybe he takes the rook. Here's a pretty powerful check. Takes back. Who's going to get the checkmate? Black's king looks more exposed to me than white, I think. I think both these knights are really powerful. I'm going to give Mishkin the favorite on this game. But the time is of the essence. It's 15 seconds against 18 seconds. He breaks through with a powerful f5. He couldn't take the pawn because it's pinned to the king. So now the knight takes through. Oh, he's really breaking through with white. He pushes. This pawn is going all the way. Rook takes back. Okay, he's got mate threats. Mate threat on g8. He's gonna block, and now he's threatening mate on g6 and g8. I'm not sure the black can defend both mates in one turn.
Check.
Boom, g8, checkmate. He takes it. Boom, that's a good game. Good game, good game. And we have another match. We have GM Vidok as black, the favorite, against Alexei 1. Alexei's from where is that? I'm not sure. I shouldn't even speak. I guess this is Russia, and this is the Netherlands. So we got a European match. Okay, Vidok goes again with some sort of a Benoni Slav structure. I'm not totally sure. Pretty quick bullet game. The opening moves, you don't always have to play perfect, but you do have to put some pressure, constantly be attacking. Here he's threatening knight e3 check, which is pretty powerful because black's kingside is not completely developed, so you can't do things like castle at all. So this is pretty powerful. Forces Alexei 1 to think for a while. He plays knight b5, sort of getting his piece in the way. Okay, now, oh wow, so the knight could... Oh, the knight couldn't take on d6 because then there's a very dangerous discovery, like knight takes b2 and then takes the queen, something like that. Or knight here is mate. I don't know, something really powerful. So that was a lot of action. Somehow black swung in with the knight, took over here, came back, got the rook, and then took the pawn. Pretty ambitious. He's totally going for checkmate. We have 27 seconds against 20 seconds. Never forget the time in bullet. F5, that's a powerful move, just really hammering in on that king. I'm not sure if he's going to push h4 or if he's going to try and open lines. E4 is pretty well defended to white's favor. Oh, but a powerful rook... What is that? D8 move, attacking the queen. The knight blocks, but now he's threatening e5. He's also threatening something like queen h5. Okay, he pins it. That makes some sense. Sacks the rook. Pretty powerful there. He just knows, okay, I need this square. Okay, the knight comes back. I feel, oh wow, a knight h2 check. Where's the mate is really the question. He gets e5 and he gets the queen. I think that was just out of time. Now he takes over there. Here comes GG. Hey everybody, this is Determinacy here to bring you another bullet game. So this is GM Memphis as black against IM Mishkin. So we've seen Mishkin once before in this video, and he's playing again. Let's do the battle. Alright, so we had some sort of a d4, b6, c4 setup. So like sort of a Queen's Indian type thing. Let's see, so he attacks the classic c4 square, and then let's see, an f5 was played, and so it's a little opened up. So I'm just trying to catch up for the bullet game. So bishop a3 attacks the d6 square. We have the rook attacking this square. He does break through on the c4 square, which I think is an accomplishment. But now he can't push because the pin. So the knight's in front of it. This is a little weak. This is a little weak, but it's defended. We have opposite colored bishops, which is noteworthy. Opposite colored bishop endgames are often drawish, but in the middle game, they can be kind of dangerous because like black is only controlling the light squares and white's controlling the dark squares in this situation. So, but we saw white sacrifice both pawns basically by accident, I think. I don't see where the compensation was with that. So now black is pretty far ahead. He's also ahead in time, which is really important to consider. So GM Memphis has 18 more seconds, which is really substantial. So he's going to try and use that advantage to maybe see if his opponent makes a mistake and capitalize on that. So he's pushing these pawns. Pawns turn into queens, which is like really useful because queens can move in any direction. So let's see. He takes here. Now we have the opposite colored bishop ending. But these two passed pawns. Oh, he hung the other bishop. Boom, it's over. All right, we got one more game. So b3 is played by GM Memphis. Sort of, not really traditional, but Nakamura sort of plays a similar bullet style where he just sort of controls the corners in the beginning. His opponent did sacrifice some material, almost sacrifice some material, but I guess if takes, then takes here, and it's equal. So he pulled his bishop back, which is kind of interesting. So it's going forward pretty quickly. So black is controlling the important d4 square. I think that black, they have the same amount of material. No. White won a pawn on c6 earlier. After knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. So white's up a pawn. And black had good control, but he couldn't really break through because he was down a pawn. So now he's been able to push b5. You can see that all these pawns on the light squares with the dark square bishop, pretty good combination. But then again, this bishop is pretty strong down this diagonal. This knight's now pinned, which could become noteworthy. But you can see that this backwards pawn just doesn't really bring all the dynamic play. Takes. Boom. So that pin, or a different pin, I guess, actually won him some material. So now black is up material. Okay, just bullets so fast it's sometimes hard to even figure out what's going on. So yeah, black is up a bishop, but there's this really powerful pawn that he kind of has to defend. Boom! What a shot right there. Checking and then taking back to win the full piece, I think. Oh, but he takes the wrong way. He took the wrong way. If he takes this way, he's up a bishop and a rook. But now he's only up a bishop, which is sad. But maybe he can still pull it off. It's only 13 seconds against 11 seconds, so really the time is becoming a huge factor at this point. You still have to play well because grandmasters can do an extraordinary amount of stuff in 11 seconds. Sacks the bishops to sort of clarify the endgame. Now he's playing for time, is my understanding. So he's just sort of pushing. Oh, now he's up 2 pawns though, so this is a theoretical win for black if he can push. But he sacks a piece by accident, loses the full rook. Now he's just going, uh-oh, I gotta play for time. Let's see. So 1 second against 3 seconds. It looks like white is ahead on time. White forfeits on time. Boom. All right, next game. So we see the same b6 setup, sort of a hyper-modern, sort of untraditional setup. Doesn't seem too strong to me, but in bullet, it's fast enough. He knows how to play it, and that's what's important about it. So now we have a knight on a bishop on e4. Sorry, so the bishop is now trapped from the queen side, which is kind of interesting. So the bishop actually sacrifices itself. It says, I don't want to get stuck here and trapped after, the knight moves back, pawn up, and the bishop's trapped or something. So he trades it off, and now this bishop might have to be traded, getting rid of the bishop pair. But if he takes, then the pawn on g5 is going to be pretty strong. So knight comes over here, attacking these queenside squares, trying to come in on b2 or c3. Coordinated with this bishop. There's a lot of control of the b2 square here. White's sort of starting to move his pieces towards an attack, but he'll need a pawn break, and it looks like f5 is probably the only pawn break in this position. With this backward pawn, g4 could be a pawn break apparently. So we see black trying to defend by trading off pieces on the queen side, while white plays g5, f5, starting to break through. Queen sacrifice, OMG. Queen sacrifice alert. If takes, then bishop here checkmate. So he wins a full piece with the queen sacrifice in a bullet game. Boom, that's what chess is all about. Threatens checkmate. His opponent sacrifices a piece in order to save for mate. That makes a lot of sense. I have a lot of positions like this where I threaten a checkmate and then I run out of time because I came up with something so clever, but it took a while. So in this position, it looks like white is down time, right? White has 6 seconds, while black has 14 seconds. This is what happens to me in Bullet, is I run out of time because I'm thinking about something very clever like a queen sacrifice, and that just takes me a little while. But here, white is fast enough at chess that I think he's going to be able to promote this pawn. Ooh, no, he ran out of time, so game drawn. But I think he could have promoted and checkmated because the pawn was already on the 6th rank. So we have another game against GM Memphis against Mishkin. We see the same b6 maneuver by Memphis. We're following Memphis's view. That's why we're always reversing towards him. So this same sort of structure, hard to break through though. It's solid. I've seen, I think, Carlson play it. I've seen Ivanchuk sort of play this sort of thing. So I know that it's solid. It's tough to break, and it's kind of positional. So we saw some things with like opposite colored bishop endings, things like that. Those sorts of things occur. So he pushes h5, gains some space, plays rook up. So his king could castle queenside, but it's not really going queenside. It's not going kingside. It could go queenside. Plays rook e4, defends. It looks like white has a pretty substantial sort of, he's doing more stuff, it looks to me. And black's king is a little exposed. This h-pawn, is sort of a strength right now, but could easily become a weakness. Boom, it gets taken, just like that. So now black sort of gets some counterplay on the queen side. We sort of saw this in the last game, like white sort of attacks from the king side, while black sort of counteracts. So here, where this pawn is going to promote. This pawn is getting pushed, and it's all for white to try and checkmate fast enough. Pretty exciting. He plays queen all the way back, but then this queen came from here, threatening mate here, and also attacking the pawn on a3. So that was, I think, pretty quick. We need to keep track of the time more. So black has 18 seconds, white has 13 seconds. We can see that white is down on time in this position. White is up material, 2, 3, 5 against 3. So he's up 2 pawns, but would you trade 2 pawns for 4 seconds right now? Yeah, maybe. I mean, how does white break through? How does white promote this quickly? I think he might have just won another pawn. He pushes. Oh, is that mate? No, not mate at all. He sacks a pawn to defend. Oh, that wasn't right. He could have taken here. But it's just, you got to play as fast as you can. These white pawns are trying to promote, but he only has like 1 second. I think black's got this by the skin of his teeth. Boom. Quick game. It's all about, how fast can you play, I guess. So we got another Queen's Gambit type position. He trades that bishop off immediately to double those pawns. Kind of interesting. I mean, are those pawns really that weak? But he's a grandmaster. That's what he does. Okay, we see some structural changes. We see the pawns being on light squares for GM Memphis, which is probably powerful because he traded off that bishop already to double the pawns. Now this knight is strong on f5 because it can't be attacked by an e-pawn. Expands with b5. He's sort of attacking both sides at once. White's pieces are sort of attacking e3, but it's like, are you really going to sack a piece for that? But after maybe something like f5, he could get a lot of dynamic initiative. So the knight sort of comes back. I think the knight's like, oh my god, I gotta go. Takes back with the knight. So I think white sacked a pawn for that, but it doesn't look like he got much out of it. Boom, knight takes the center pawn. He's going to take this with check, I think. No, he decides to pin the knight. Pinning the knight's, fine. Oh no, he couldn't take this with check because then like too much is hanging, I think. So black tries to trade a piece down. Black is still playing a little faster. Oh, he uses the queen to just eat all the squares. Boom, 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 boom. The queen is so fast. 2 pawns gone, just like that. And now it turns out that white is the one who is more exposed. This happens to me a lot in chess where, like, I'm attacking, and then it turns out that my king is more exposed, or vice versa. That my opponent's attacking, and then it turns out that their king is more exposed than mine. That's kind of what happened here. He was going to push and has a lot of strength. He can't really get through this. Check. All right, thanks guys. I'm out. Determinacy, Galen Pyle, Portland Chess Shop. Boom.